Well, it was a great 2.5-week trip to India. So many people who attended our 4 conferences in 4 different cities are asking, what's next? And fortunately, we have that plan, and I'll share it in a minute. But first, let me show you some images and videos of what you were able to provide through your prayers and through your gifts. I'm going to split this into 3 parts. First, conferences, okay? In Bangalore and Delhi and Mysore, we were able to spend 2 days with pastors and worship leaders, teaching and encouraging them toward the heart and function of leading worship. We have 4 modules of training that we've developed for our international discipleship that's built so that leaders can train leaders who train leaders. In these first 3 conferences, we were able to teach some from each of the 4 modules and give them a taste of what's to come. These conferences were part of one large church network of about 2,800 churches that we'll be able to influence over time. In total, we had around 120 leaders from over 40 of their churches through these 2-day intensives. The 4th conference was a one-night training in Nagpur, the heart of India. It's in an area that is not friendly to Christians. Our Worship Catalyst leader there, Appy, organized this great night of training and singing, and we had around 215 people in attendance, with well over 25 churches represented. This was a great kickoff to our more visible ministry in Nagpur and central India. The goal of this was to set up Appy as a leader there who could train and influence many churches, and this happened. Second, home-to-home ministry. Between the 2 of us, Mike and I got to preach in 5 different churches, and 3 of those were house churches. We also went home to home praying for Hindu families that shared their needs. God's doing a great work with faithful Christians there who are building relationships with their neighbors. It's simply the Great Commission in full display. We were honored to participate in these faith communities and see what God is already doing through people who are not only the minority, but in many cases, they're even being fought against by local laws and customs. In fact, there's a lot of people who have stories about being beaten and put in prison and things like that. In fact, one of our guys that's going to be on our team training leaders has a crazy story that I'm sure you'll hear at some point on one of these updates. Well, finally, what's next? Well, we have basically 3 areas of focus in India: North, South, and Central. The North and South areas are going to be led by 5 leaders that we begin training this week. They were all a part of our training over the last couple of weeks and will now be able to take the 4 modules and start putting them into the network of churches that they're a part of. Like I said, it's almost 3,000 churches. Just last year, they started 360 of them. So it's amazing. The central part is led by this guy I mentioned earlier, Appy Gaikwad. He's a go-getter, man, and he's really has this vision to build a network of churches and leaders all over central India so that we can help them be better at finding Jesus and following Jesus as they lead their congregations. So that's what I wanted to share. It's only the very beginning, but hopefully you can see and feel how God is using you in this venture to make all this possible. Hundreds and eventually thousands of pastors and worship leaders in India, along with their teams, are getting the help that they need to lead their congregations well, to worship the Father in spirit and in truth. So thank you again for taking the time to listen and for making all this possible. We'll see you soon.